So it's time for another gardening week video, and it's been a busy Monday. So I got 4 tonne of wood chip delivered. It cost me £80, which I think is a pretty good deal. It's possible to get it for free around here, but you have to wait for ages, and the delivery is totally at the convenience of the arborist, and so you just never know when it's going to arrive, which makes it really difficult to organise your time. So I rather pay for it and leave the free stuff for people who don't have a YouTube channel and lots of people watching adverts. I'm using the wood chip for my paths. I love it for paths. In fact, I love it so much for paths that I made a video all about it, which you can watch probably next week. And yeah, it was so nice to get that job done, because it is a long, hard job. Unfortunately, some of my allotment neighbours decided to help, so we had 3 barrows going, and we were raking it and smoothing it out at the same time, and I'm very pleased with the results, and I won't have to do it again for 3 years. So that is, well, I actually quite look forward to it. It's quite a nice job, so I was going to kind of say, you know, something to look forward to, not having to do it for 3 years, but to be honest, if I needed to, I'd be quite happy to do it every year. It is quite an enjoyable job, just because it kind of turns something that's a little bit messy into something that's looking pretty pristine. It doesn't last very long, but you know, it's nice. So also on Monday, which is the 28th of March, I noticed the first flowers on strawberries in the polytunnel. All the strawberry plants are about to burst into flower, which is really exciting. And then when I looked down just below them, I noticed the first beans on the broad bean plants. So there's loads of little beans coming, and I think I'm about 3 weeks ahead of the first succession outside, which makes it, if I actually do get beans on these rather than just empty pods, it makes it quite worthwhile really for just this little container here. So it's Tuesday, and I've just been on the allotment with a migraine planting onions, and I was pleased to get those in. I've got about half of the onions planted, and I don't know where I'm going to plant the others, but that's a nice problem to have. And I'm just back home, and so had a nap and taken some migraine meds, and got these early tomatoes in. So these are tumblers, and I've got 1 other hanging basket still to go, and so that will be 4 hanging baskets in total. And I've got 2 pots, and I've got Shirley's Pixie in those. So those are Shirley's Pixie. They're going to stay in the kitchen on the windowsill, along with these early peppers, whereas these hanging baskets are headed for the allotment polytunnel eventually. Right now it's way too cold. So I've just planted my main crop, summer carrots. I've got a few in containers as well, and so I've got 3 rows spaced about 1¼ inches apart, 6 inches between rows, so quite a lot of carrots in here. So last week I was telling you that I'd got my first little bean pods and my first strawberry flowers, and I was really excited about that because I absolutely love strawberries and I don't mind beans. And today, I'm checking around in the polytunnel, I noticed that the bean pods are starting to swell a bit, and every single one of my strawberries, and I've got loads and loads of pots up here above me, I've got flowers now. And so I'm buzzing about that, and because, you know, some of them are actually quite big and none of them got damaged in the recent frosts. I am kept slightly grounded though, in that one of the people I follow, Sue Garrett in California, she has got her first strawberries, not her first strawberry flowers. So it's pretty useful when you're trying to push the envelope like I do, in terms of a season extension, to follow people in places like California and Florida and things like that. And as I say, it keeps you grounded, and also gives you something to aspire to. So anyway, why this little preamble? Well, I split one of the broad beans open to see whether I actually need beans in it, because there's been some debate in the comments as to whether broad beans grown really early in a polytunnel when they're flowering at a time when there's no pollinators will actually set seed? And the answer is yes, because I split them open and there's loads of little beans in there and they're all looking really nice. And I always thought that broad beans were self-fertile. Some people say they're reasonably self-fertile and they benefit from pollinators, and other people say that they're perfectly self-fertile. Well, if this one bean that I checked is anything to go by, I would say they're perfectly self-fertile. There's not a huge number of beans in it. I think it was about 6 perhaps, but still, that's pretty good. So I'm really excited for those because I really like tender young broad beans. I don't like them at all when they mature. Debbie does, and Jenny does as well, but I don't. I only like the young tender ones. So that's what we'll be harvesting in a few weeks' time by the look of it. Well, I've skipped a few days because I've been mainly cycling and just sowing a few seeds and just relaxing a bit. So it's now Saturday and I'm down on the allotment again. I managed to crush, in a kind of freak accident, my calf muscle, and so I'm hobbling around something chronic, and it's not very nice, but it's fine, it's intact and it will repair itself, and but no cycling or hiking for me for a few days. So what am I doing in the allotment? What am I doing today on the allotment? Watering, basically. We've got a lot of rain forecast for next week, and I don't like to waste a single raindrop, so I'm emptying 2 of my collection tanks onto all the undercover beds and the polytunnel, and getting the ground well hydrated. I'm not quite ready to take those covers off because that rain is kind of accompanied by high winds and all of that, so I will leave them on until the middle of April, which is when I normally take them off. But this good watering that I've done should see them through until the middle of April, which is really nice. So I am also planting my first outdoor carrots under Fleece in my new carrot bed, which I'm really excited for because that means hopefully good quality carrots in summer. And we always have carrots in summer, but we don't always have good quality ones. I'm trying my hardest this year to get those sorted, and I'm just kind of doing an assessment of where I am with all the harvests because we are kind of overwhelmed with food right now. We have more than we have people to eat it, even though we're up, I don't know, like 18 people at the moment that we're feeding. And I'm kind of trying to make the decision, what to do about that situation. I don't mind feeding lots of people, but my objective really is to just have the richest possible diet for my immediate family. That's my kind of long-term objective. We'll still feed always a few friends, but I don't want to feed like all of our local friends or something like that. That's just not what I'm trying to do. So I'm kind of looking around, seeing what can I do, what can I adjust in order to have a richer diet at this time of year rather than a bigger harvest. And it's kind of tricky because we have a pretty rich diet, which I'll show you in the harvest now. So here's a quick look at today's harvest without the salad greens. I'll just walk you through it. So potatoes obviously here, here and here. We've only got now 3 weeks supply of potatoes left, but we should be harvesting fresh potatoes by then. We've got the green garlic, the first cut of asparagus, parsley, the last of the colettes. The last of the colettes on the allotment. We've got colettes still in the garden. Carrots, shallots and onions, and you can see some of the onions now starting to sprout, so we're trying to get through those. In terms of carrots, we've got 3 weeks supply left, but the carrots are looking good, so hopefully we'll have new carrots by that time. We've just gone through and assessed all the beetroot. We've got about, 7 or 8 weeks of supply of beetroot left. These are all the mixed brassica greens, the purple sprouting broccoli, the calabrese, the loose leaf cabbages, then all these are down here are Asian greens, and then the chard, the celery, and the leeks. Then we've got 3 boxes of field bean tops, just like broad bean tops, but better. And then the spinach, still loads of spinach. The radishes, these are the Asian greens for salad mixes, spring onion tops for salad mixes, spring onions for salad mixes, carrots for salad mixes, and that is the last of the garlic. So those few cloves and those pickled cloves, that is all we've got left, and that is why, as I said, let's go over here, we started harvesting green garlic. So here's the salad crops. I just did a quick count up, and I think we picked in total 35 different varieties, and we probably have about 5 or 6 different types of fruits in the week as well, so about 40 different varieties of fruit and veg a week. My target is 30, which is sometimes a little bit tricky to get to in winter, but in spring and summer and autumn it's relatively easy. And I find having these salad mixes all ready to eat that I always have a salad every single day because it's just so easy. I would just never have the motivation to do it day after day after day on each individual day. It's just too much faff to make them up. But anyway, there we go, all made up with added tomatoes from the shops and grapes as well from the shops. So at least 10 fresh ingredients in each salad box. So I hope you liked this quick video. My name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.